The hip-hop world is spinning out of control tonight because a bombshell just detonated, and it has Camron's fingerprints all over it. In a twist nobody saw coming, Camron has allegedly leaked something so damaging, so intimate, that it threatens to destroy the relationship fans once thought was unbreakable. Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones. For years, their love story has been tested, dragged across reality TV, and put under a microscope. But nothing compares to this. Because if what Camron just exposed is real, we're talking about the kind of betrayal that ends not only relationships, but reputations, legacies, and careers. Social media is already on fire. Screenshots, clips, and whispered DMs are flooding Twitter and Instagram, with fans screaming that this is the end of an era. Chrissy, known for always standing 10 toes down beside Jim, is suddenly at the center of a storm she never asked for, while Jim Jones is being forced into silence, or maybe plotting a response that could shock everyone even further. And here's the craziest part. Insiders claim Camron didn't just accidentally let this leak slip. No, he allegedly planned it, timed it, and executed it to perfection, knowing it would cut the deepest right now, when Jim and Chrissy were finally supposed to be in a good place. But what was leaked? Why now? And what does this mean for one of hip-hop's most notorious couples? Stay tuned, because the truth is uglier than anyone ever imagined. The leak that Camron dropped didn't just cause whispers, it set the entire hip-hop scene on fire. What should have been just another quiet evening turned into an alt circus, with fans glued to their phones, refreshing their timelines, trying to make sense of the madness. Sources close to Cam claim he's been holding on to receipts for years. But the timing of this drop is what has everyone shook. It came out of nowhere, with no warning, no teaser, no buildup. Just a raw, unfiltered leak that ripped through the community like a grenade dot at the center of it all. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin, the couple who's fought through reality TV chaos, public breakups, reconciliations, and more drama than most people could survive in a lifetime. For over a decade, fans have watched Chrissy ride for Jim through everything, even proposing to him on Love and Hip Hop in one of the most unforgettable moments in reality TV history. But now, with one single leak, all of that loyalty is being called into question. Camron, who has a history of on-and-off beef with Jim, clearly knew what he was doing, and the content of what he dropped. Reportedly text messages and private recordings that suggest Jim has been entertaining conversations and possibly more outside of his relationship. But here's where things take a darker twist. Insiders claim the texts aren't recent. Some allege they're from years ago, resurfaced now only to maximize damage. Others believe Cam carefully edited or pieced them together to make Jim look worse than he actually is. Either way, the fallout has been nuclear. Chrissy hasn't said a word publicly yet, but people close to her are whispering that she feels humiliated, blindsided, and ready to take drastic action. On Instagram, it's chaos. Fans are dissecting every post Chrissy has made over the past few weeks, looking for hidden messages or signs of trouble. That cryptic selfie she posted with the caption, "Energy speaks louder than words." Fans are now convinced it was a warning shot. The video she liked of another influencer talking about never trusting a man fully. Yeah, that's now being seen as a massive red flag. Meanwhile, Jim Jones has gone quiet too quiet. No cryptic posts, no deflections, no rants on IG Live. Like he's known to do nothing. And that silence, it's only making fans think the leak is real. If it was fake, why wouldn't Jim shut it down immediately? Why wouldn't he call Cam out, deny everything, and protect his relationship? Instead, the quiet is deafening, leaving Chrissy to deal with the embarrassment of her name trending for all the wrong reasons. And Cam, he's eating it up. According to insiders, he's been laughing in private, saying, "If Jim wanna play, big dog, I'll show the world who he really is." He hasn't addressed it directly on his own socials yet. In fact, But he's been liking shady comments and reposting memes that make it clear he knows exactly the storm it's created. What's even wilder is the way the industry is reacting. Other hip-hop couples are suddenly being brought into the conversation. Fans are comparing Jim and Chrissy's situation to Remy Ma and Papoose, to Offset and Cardi. To Rashida and Kirk, Frost, every messy couple is getting dragged back into the spotlight, as if this one leak has reopened the wounds of every past scandal, and the bloggers. They're having a field day. Screenshots are being analyzed frame by frame. Voices in alleged audio recordings are being slowed down, pitch-corrected, and matched to Jim's speech patterns. Fans are even tagging Chrissy in comments, begging her to leave Jim once and for all, saying she deserves better and shouldn't waste another 10 years. But here's the cruelest twist of all. This isn't just about infidelity. The leak allegedly contains references to money discussions about deals, side hustles, and transactions that could hint at shady business going on behind the scenes. Some fans are even speculating this isn't about romance at all, it's about power, money, and betrayal at the deepest level. If Jim really did keep secrets from Chrissy, it's not just about women, but about finances too, then the foundation of their relationship might be even weaker than anyone thought. People close to Chrissy say she's furious not just at Jim, but at Cam for humiliating her. But here's the thing about Chrissy. She doesn't just sit back. She's known for confronting things head-on, whether it's on camera or off. Which means insiders are already whispering about her next move. Some say she's preparing to go public, to finally air out everything she's been holding back. Others believe she's staying quiet because she's waiting to confront Jim privately first. But in the middle of this storm, one thing is certain, this leak isn't just going to fade away. The damage has been done, and the fallout is only just beginning. Fans are taking sides. Some are defending Jim, saying this is just Cam stirring the pot out of jealousy. Others are rallying around Chrissy, demanding she finally walk away and level up on her own. And that's where the suspense lies. Will Chrissy stay loyal, the way she always has? Or will this be the breaking point? The moment she finally says enough is enough. Because if she does, if Chrissy Lampkin actually leaves Jim Jones after all these years, it will send shockwaves through hip-hop culture like nothing we've ever seen before. But wait, because the leak wasn't the end of the story. Word on the street is that Cam's not finished. He's got more. More receipts, more recordings, more dirt. And he's allegedly threatening to drop them if Jim doesn't address the truth. The question now isn't just how Chrissy will respond, but how far Cam is willing to go and whether Jim is strong enough to fight back. Because if the rumors are true, the next leak could be even uglier, and it could expose things that no one is ready to see, and that cliffhanger. It leaves one chilling question on everyone's mind. Has Cam just destroyed not only Jim and Chrissy's relationship, but their entire legacy? When the dust from the first leak barely started to settle, Camron doubled down and the situation went from shocking to catastrophic. Late at night, with no warning, a mysterious drop hit a gossip forum tied to one of Cam's close friends. It wasn't just screenshots. This time, it was a video clip. A shaky, grainy recording that allegedly showed Jim Jones in a dimly lit VIP section of a lounge, laughing, leaning way too close to a woman who was clearly not Chrissy. The audio was hard to hear, but at one point, you can make out Jim's voice saying something about keeping this between us. Within minutes, the clip spread like wildfire, reposted across Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube gossip channels with hashtags like #JimJonesExposed and #ChrissyDeservesBetter. Trending overnight. And here's the twist that no one saw coming. Some fans began piecing together details from the video. The decor of the lounge, the outfits, the background music. They realized the clip wasn't new. It was at least 3 years old, dating back to a time when Jim and Chrissy were supposedly working through issues. But even with that timeline, the damage was massive. The perception was simple. Cam had more dirt, and Jim's loyalty was officially in question. And in the world of celebrity drama, perception is everything. It's everything. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed Chrissy was livid, not just because of the leak itself, but because of how it made her look. For over a decade, she has stood firm by Jim, defending him publicly, holding her head high while people questioned their unconventional relationship. She proposed to him on TV. She defended him against rumors. She stuck around even when wedding bells never came. And now, after all of that loyalty, Cam's leak had made her appear foolish, as if she'd been played the entire time. According to a source close to Chrissy, she locked herself away in her New Jersey home for 2 straight days, refusing to take calls, ignoring texts even from Jim. But Jim couldn't stay silent forever. When he finally broke his silence, it was on Instagram. Livened, instead of addressing the leak head-on, he danced around it. He played music, cracked jokes, and when fans filled the comments with, "Is it true? And what about Chrissy?" he brushed it off, saying, "Man, y'all don't know what you talking about." People always got something to say about Capo. That deflection didn't land the way he wanted. Instead, it looked like he was dodging the truth. Fans dragged him across social media, saying if the receipts weren't real, he would have shut them down directly. The internet wasn't the only place on fire. Industry insiders say multiple love and hip-hop producers began reaching out to both Jim and Chrissy, begging them to let the cameras in. To them, this was a golden opportunity, real-life drama unfolding in real time, with the potential to drive ratings through the roof. But Chrissy wasn't having it. She reportedly snapped at producers, saying, "This is my life, not a storyline," and slammed the door on any talks about filming. Jim, on the other hand, was allegedly more open, seeing the chaos as a chance to flip the narrative back in his favor. That difference in perspective only added more cracks to their already fractured bond. And then came the bombshell. Out of nowhere, Chrissy liked a shady Instagram post from a women's empowerment page that read, "When a man shows you who he is the first time, believe him." Fans immediately screenshotted it and circulated it as proof that she was done. With Jim, blogs ran with headlines like, "Chrissy hints at breakup, and is this the end of Jim and Chrissy?" The pressure mounted, and fans began taking sides. Team Chrissy, who believed she should finally walk away, and Team Jim, who claimed Cam was a manipulator trying to destroy a decades-long relationship. Meanwhile, Cam fanned the flames without even saying a word. He reposted memes shading Jim, liked comments calling him a fake Harlem legend, and even uploaded an old picture of him and Chrissy with the caption, "Family ties run deep." That one post nearly broke the internet. The implication? That Cam and Chrissy had some type of connection that went beyond friendship. People began speculating that maybe Cam wasn't just exposing Jim out of spite. Maybe he had his own history with Chrissy, one that he was subtly hinting at. The whispers only got louder when a so-called insider went to a gossip page, claiming Chrissy and Cam had once been very close back in the day, before she got with Jim. No one could prove it, but the timing of Cam's posts made people suspicious. Was this a long-buried rivalry finally exploding into the open? Is Cam trying to humiliate Jim not only as a man but as a partner? As if that wasn't enough chaos, another twist hit. Someone leaked alleged text messages between Jim and a mystery woman, showing flirtatious exchanges about meeting up at hotels, shopping trips, and even conversations about money. Fans dissected every message, comparing writing styles too. Jim's past posts arguing over whether they were real or fake. Some swore the grammar and slang matched Jim perfectly. Others argued the texts were doctored, another manipulation from Cam's camp. But the damage was done. Chrissy's name was trending again, and Jim looked more guilty than ever. What made it worse was the silence from Chrissy. While Jim deflected and Cam laughed, Chrissy stayed quiet, which only fueled speculation. Was she planning something big? Was she done with Jim? Or was she staying silent because she knew the truth and didn't want to admit it to the world? Behind the scenes, sources claim Chrissy confronted Jim privately. One insider swore Chrissy screamed at him, demanding answers, telling him she was tired of being embarrassed. But Jim allegedly stood his ground, telling her Cam was just stirring the pot. Still, he couldn't explain why the receipts seemed so real. By now, the internet was split into camps, and the drama had grown beyond just Jim, Chrissy, and Cam. Other celebrities began chiming in. Remy Ma posted a cryptic message about snakes in your circle. Fat Joe mentioned loyalty in a vague Instagram story. Even Love and Hip Hop cast members started shading Jim indirectly, with some saying, "You can't play with a queen forever," and others hinting, "Some men don't know when they got it good." And just when it seemed like the story couldn't get messier, Cam dropped yet another bomb. He teased on his Instagram story that he had one more drop, and that this one ends careers. The threat sent shockwaves through the industry. Everyone braced themselves, wondering what could be worse than what he already revealed. Was it more evidence of cheating? Was it something deeper: financial, fraud, shady deals, or betrayal on a whole new level? The anticipation was unbearable, and all eyes turned to Chrissy once again. The question wasn't just whether she'd leave Jim, it was whether she'd survive the humiliation of having her entire relationship dissected in front of the world. And as Cam laughed from the sidelines, Jim tried to act unfazed, and Chrissy plotted her next move. Fans were left with one chilling thought: if Cam really has more dirt, then the next leak could destroy not just Jim and Chrissy's relationship, but their entire empire. The only question now: will Chrissy finally walk away, or is she about to go to war? By the time Camron hinted that he had one more drop that could end careers, the entire internet was holding its breath. People weren't just speculating anymore, they were setting alarms, waiting for the next bombshell like it was a pay-per-view fight. And in a move that no one predicted, Cam delivered. At 2 a.m., he posted a blurred-out screenshot with the caption, "Y'all not ready for this one." It showed just enough to send fans into a frenzy. An alleged bank transfer between Jim Jones and a woman's account dated last year, with a note that read, "For you, babe." Even though the names were censored, everyone knew what Cam was implying. Jim wasn't just being disloyal emotionally, there was money involved. Within minutes, blogs exploded. Headlines screamed that Jim was funding side chicks. Swear. Threads with thousands of retweets broke down every detail of the screenshot, cross-referencing the font, layout, and even comparing it to verified bank statements. Some insisted it was fake, a clumsy Photoshop, while others swore Cam wouldn't risk this much backlash if he didn't have the real thing. And if it was real, then Chrissy wasn't just facing betrayal, she was facing humiliation on a financial level too. Realizing she may have been supporting Jim while he was allegedly supporting someone else, the fallout was immediate and brutal. Chrissy was spotted leaving her home late at night. Paparazzi cameras catching her with sunglasses on, no makeup, and visibly upset. The image of her walking to her car, head down, clutching her phone, hit harder than any Instagram post ever could. Fans flooded social media with messages of support, telling her to finally put herself first and walk away from this toxicity. Others expressed anger, saying she wasted over a decade of her life on a man who refused to respect her. Jim, meanwhile, tried to fight back. He went live again, this time angrier, accusing Cam of being obsessed with him, saying, "Y'all need to stop feeding into this nonsense. That man been jealous of me for 20 years. He mad at my success. He mad at my love life, and he'll do anything to try and break me down." But while Jim was spitting fire, the comments weren't buying it. Over 50,000 people tuned into his live, and the chat was a wall of, "We saw the receipts. You're done? And where's Chrissy?" His attempts to spin the narrative only made him look more defensive. Behind the scenes, whispers grew louder that Chrissy had finally consulted a divorce attorney. Insiders claimed she was weighing her options, not just for her relationship, but for her financial future. After all, Jim and Chrissy's empire was tied up in business deals, real estate, and joint ventures. Cam's receipts were true. Then, Chrissy had every reason to cut ties before her own brand was dragged into the mud. The fact that she hadn't said a word publicly made fans believe she was moving in silence, preparing to make her exit with precision. Then, another shocking twist. An anonymous source reached out to a gossip blog, claiming that Chrissy had already kicked Jim out of their shared home. According to the leak, Jim was staying with a friend in Harlem while Chrissy took control of the house. The blog posted alleged photos of Jim's car parked outside a known associate's apartment building, fueling rumors that their breakup was already underway. True, this wasn't just speculation anymore. This was the beginning of the end. And Cam, he was thriving in the chaos. He continued posting cryptic captions, throwing fuel on the fire without ever outright saying he fabricated anything. At one point, he even uploaded a photo of himself sipping champagne with the caption, "Truth tastes better than revenge." Fans swarmed his page, half praising him for exposing the lies, half accusing him of destroying a family. But Cam didn't flinch, if anything. The backlash only seemed to make him bolder. Celebrities began weighing in too. Cardi B tweeted, "This Chrissy situation, wild. Sometimes you gotta love yourself more than you love him." Remy Ma posted another cryptic story about cutting off weak links, and Funk Flex. He went on Hot 97 and outright said Jim's reputation in Harlem was finished if the leaks kept coming. The hip-hop community wasn't just watching anymore, they were picking sides. And more often than not, those sides weren't leaning in Jim's favor. Fans started digging deeper. And suddenly, old clips resurfaced, moments on Love and Hip Hop, where Chrissy looked frustrated, where Jim brushed her off, where their dynamic seemed one-sided. Viewers turned those clips into TikTok montages, painting a narrative that Chrissy had been suffering in silence for years, and now the world was finally seeing the truth. "She's been warning us," one viral post read, gaining over 1 million views. But just when the world thought Chrissy would make her big move, she shocked everyone by appearing at a public event. Dressed in all black, rocking dark shades, and a diamond necklace, Chrissy stepped out like nothing was wrong. She posed for pictures, smiled, and even addressed a reporter who dared to ask about the Cam drama. Her response: "People talk. Move different." That one sentence sent fans into another spiral. Was she planning to stick by Jim despite everything? Was she playing the long game, waiting to strike when it hurt the most? Jim, for his part, doubled down too. He posted a photo of him and Chrissy from better days, captioned, "Forever us. Don't believe the lies." The comments, however, weren't kind. Fans dragged him mercilessly, saying he was using old photos to distract from the truth. Even claimed Chrissy hadn't approved the post, noting she didn't like it or comment. And then, the cliffhanger no one expected. A breaking alert from a gossip blog claiming that Cam was about to sit down for an exclusive interview where he promised to lay everything out on the table. If that interview aired, wouldn't just be Chrissy and Jim's relationship at stake. It could shatter careers, friendships, and reputations across the entire hip-hop industry. As the countdown to Cam's alleged interview began, fans were left on the edge of their seats. Would Chrissy finally confirm the split? Would Cam really unleash more proof? Or would Jim somehow find a way to spin the narrative one last time? One thing was certain: the next chapter in this saga could make or break the legacy of Jim and Chrissy forever. And there you have a tan explosion that has the entire culture on edge. Camron's leak didn't just stir the pot, it set the whole kitchen on fire. Jim Jones and Chrissy's love story, once held up as reality TV's ultimate roller coaster, is now hanging by a thread. The blurred screenshots, the late-night moves, Chrissy's silence, Jim's anger, and Cam's smug champagne sip all feels like the calm before the next storm. And with whispers of an interview that could shatter everything we thought, we knew one thing is clear: this saga is far from over. But here's the thing, you can't just watch from the sidelines. We want to hear you. Do you believe Cam is exposing the truth, or is he a master manipulator twisting the knife for revenge? Is Chrissy already planning her escape, or will she shock the world and stand by Jim no matter what? And when that interview drops, if it really does, whose side will you be on? Don't just scroll past this. Smash that like button if you're as stunned as we are. Drop your thoughts in the comments because trust me, your take on this is going to light up the debate. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button right now. Because this story is only getting messier, louder, and more dangerous. The next bombshell could land at any second, and you don't want to be the one hearing about it last. Stay locked in because the real truth hasn't even hit yet.